Am I the asshole for blowing up on my wife for spending 8k on a motorcycle for my stepson? I have been with my wife for over 6 years. I have a 17-year-old stepson and a biological 22-year-old son. The family had ups and downs just like any other family. My son is getting married in February. I have put some money aside to help him out as a gift from me for his wedding. I've already talked to him about it, and he and his fiancée said they appreciate it very much. My son deserves it, because before his mom died he took over her care and spent nights at the hospital with her. He cried many times because his mother's death broke him. I'm glad he found happiness again. My stepson is a motorcyclist. It started off as a hobby. He has posters of all kinds of motorcycles, pictures of famous racers and motorcyclists. He has a group of friends he calls brothers, and they ride together and wear some kind of bracelets that represent the group. He always does 3D arts and logos, which I find stunning, to be honest. He's talented, no question about it. Anyway, before Christmas, his mom told me she wanted to get him a motorcycle as a Christmas gift and he'd love it so much. I told her I can't afford it, and that maybe she should think of another gift for him. Everything was fine until Christmas Day. While we were exchanging gifts, my stepson received a small box from my wife that had a key in it. We were confused. She told him to go outside, and we all followed, and then I saw a brand new motorcycle in the driveway. I started wondering where she got the money. I didn't bring it up right there and then. I waited a bit. I asked my wife, and she told me that she took 8k from the account to buy the motorcycle. I effing lost it. I blew up on her and asked if she was kidding me. 8k, that's the money I put aside for my son's wedding. She said that I needed to calm down, but the money was already gone. My son showed up and asked what was wrong. I couldn't tell him his stepmom took the money that was meant for him to buy an expensive motorcycle that I'm sure my stepson will throw in the garage, just like he did the old ones in a very short time. So far he had 2 motorcycles that ended up being damaged. Those motorcycles cost us so much money other than paying for spares and parts that needed repairing. I told my wife she has 2 days to return the motorcycle and get the money back, and she defended herself saying she can't do that because it'd be devastating for my stepson and that he'll resent me if he knew I made her return the motorcycle. I told her that I was ready to talk to him and explain if that's what it takes, and she started crying saying I was okay with my stepson's spirit crushing like that. I told her it was her fault for taking money in the first place without telling me. She went upstairs and stayed there the entire night. I haven't even talked to my son yet, and it's so exhausting since my wife says I'm being cruel to my stepson. The problem is she says my stepson will resent me if I return the motorcycle. Now for the judgment. Not the asshole. WTF, she bought a motorcycle for 8k, never mind using money that's not hers, and expected you to just be okay with it? Huge red flag. There was no respect for boundaries here. Plus he already has 2 other motorcycles he has torn up, and he is only 17. WTF NTA. Also sounds like this kid has never heard the word no. I don't know about op, but I would not want to be married to this type of woman. The measure she'd go to get this kid what he wants is extremely scary. She's over here crying about the stepson resenting him if he finds out the truth. But what about op's kid? Wouldn't he resent her? It's okay because it's his kid, but not because it's her kid. Am I the asshole for telling my parents they were bad parents to me? I, 19 meters, have an autistic brother, 20 meters. He's fairly manipulative because he realized pretty quickly that the threat of a meltdown would get him his way every single time. He is considered high functioning by medical personnel, but he's got my parents convinced he just doesn't understand what he's doing, and they don't ever punish him. Doctors have told them that he understands and that he knows what he's doing. They think they know better. They also expect me to revolve my entire life around him. I was never able to do anything I wanted because it upset his routine. I wanted to play a sport. Nope, his routine. Did I want to get a job? Nope, his routine. Friends? Yeah, forget about that. I tried not to be resentful, but I am. The problem, my parents are flipping out because I plan to move several states away and in with my grandparents soon to attend school. They keep trying to guilt me into staying because of my brother. I usually just say that I'm sorry that they feel that way, but I'm still going. Well, here's where I might be the asshole. My mother was going on and on about how the world doesn't revolve around me, and how I was being really selfish, and how I was going to ruin my brother by doing this. How they'd always been the best parents they could be to both of us, and we both got equal attention. I got frustrated and told her that she was delusional if she thought she or my father was ever good parents to me. They made my life revolve around my brothers. I had nothing of my own. He had to be the center of everything. I said he wasn't the center of the universe, even though she tried to make him it. I told her that the only people who were selfish were her and my father, because they actively ignored me in favor of babying my brother who played them like a fiddle to make sure he always got his way. I told her that his routine was not my problem, that it was up to them to make the appropriate adjustments, and asked if she really thought I'd just not live my life because of him. She started crying, and I walked off and shut myself in my room. My father is demanding an apology for what I said, but I'm refusing. My grandpa said he's proud that I stood up for myself, but my parents are still demanding an apology for being an asshole. I don't think I need to give them one. Am I the asshole here? Now for the judgment. Not the asshole. High five, virtual applause, and a standing ovation. I was literally fist pumping reading what you told your mom. Good for you. There is nothing to apologize for. You told her the truth. Absolutely nothing to apologize for. You're a teenager, you deserve to do teenager things like play sports, or get a job, and especially hang out with friends. You deserve your own life and to try new things. Congrats for standing up to them, and best of luck for university. I mean, did they truly believe Op was going to live with them forever? That he's never going to have friends, a spouse, children? Did they think they can keep their autistic son in his bubble forever, with no adjustments? It's harsh when I say it like this, but the parents aren't immortal. Their autistic son needs to learn some coping mechanisms while they are still alive. Would I be the asshole if I continue to not let my husband's daughter call me mom? My husband has 3 daughters. 1. Emma, 13 female, with me. 1. Kim, 15 female, that he adopted with his ex-wife before they divorced. She was infertile. And 1. Ashley, 13 female, that he had with a woman that he was sleeping with when I was pregnant. I'm currently raising all 3 of them. Emma is my biological daughter, so obviously I let her call me mom. Kim's parents died in a fire and I raised her since she was 2, so I let her call me mom as well. Ashley's mom forfeited all her custody rights when Ashley was 6, but I don't feel comfortable letting Ashley call me mom because her mom is still alive. Usually, she calls me Mrs. last name, but today she called me mom when I was chopping cucumbers and I nearly cut my finger off. I was so surprised, I kind of snapped at her and said, "Don't call me that." She screamed, "Why not?" and ran to her room. Emma and Kim were there, and they told me that Ashley had been secretly complaining for almost 2 years now about how unfair it was that they get to call me mom, and she doesn't. That honestly broke my heart. I told them to go comfort her, and that I was going to come in there and talk to her after I finish making lunch. I've been stalling and writing this as I cook. Maybe her calling me Mrs. is too much, but I still don't feel comfortable letting her call me mom. While there's still a chance she and her mom might reconnect someday, her mom has recently started calling for Ashley's birthday and sending her small gifts throughout the year. Now for the judgment. Seriously, she has to call you Mrs. last name? Not even your first name? You sound absolutely cruel, and it seems very clear you don't want this little girl to be a part of the family. I feel so sorry for this little girl, since all of her parents are failing her. Imagine raising someone for 13 years and still not considering them part of your family. Seriously, Mrs. last name? That's the most ridiculous thing I've heard. I think that itself really shows how much she doesn't consider that child part of her family. I think she needs to deal with her issues and stop taking her husband's affair out on a child she willingly chose to raise. Am I the asshole for arguing with my brother and Sil about the Indian name they chose for my niece? My older brother and sister-in-law argue with their first baby in the next few months. We are an Indian family, and they plan to name their child for my deceased wife, Anil. Obviously, I completely feel for my Sil, but I ended up saying that a name like Arnold wouldn't work well in a country like America because of obvious reasons and the risk of mispronunciations. It's a fine name in India and it's beautiful, it means fire, but their daughter would just get mercifully bullied in America. The issue is that they don't live in India, they live in the wealthiest part of Dallas, Texas. They have the money and the plans to send their daughter to an expensive private Christian school, and their neighborhood is majority white, blonde, and wealthy. They're already the only Indian family and they don't want to, and don't plan to ever move from their area. I have an American name. I was called Aaron at school and Ahadith at home. I got called Aaron plenty of times throughout school and I don't want my little niece to grow up and start being bullied. Aaron was annoying to me. Nala is a million times worse. I'm an immigrant, and when I'd go back to India in the summers, I went by Ardith, and when I was in the USA for the rest of the year, I was Arun. I had more opportunities, and I was able to respect my heritage. I was named for my grandpa and I love him, and he loves me. I have a name that I love to have, it's his name. I suggested that my older brother and my sister-in-law have the baby, give her an Americanized name like Annabelle, Anna, or Anjali, and give her the name Arnold. When they go back to India or see family, call her that at home, but give her a Western name on her American documents, because Arnold isn't a name that's immediately thought of as good in America, and it won't give her as many opportunities. They got super angry at me and said that they would name her that and that I didn't know what I was talking about. Ironic because Arnold went by Annabeth. My sister-in-law said that she wouldn't speak to me again until I legitimately apologized to her and meant it sincerely, and I finally told her to not come complaining to me later on in the game. Now for the judgment. NTAO. Yeah. Arnold is a beautiful name that will 100% be a source of constant bullying to your niece if she is raised in Dallas in a largely white community. Even well-meaning people with no ill intentions are going to mess this up. I did my last 2 years of high school in Texas in an awesome school for the arts, and I'm telling you right now that there will be at least one sub who awkwardly stumbles over that name during roll call and will, in Texas, twang call out anal. Is there an anal here? NTA. She is in for a lifetime of bullying for having a name that sounds like anal. This will probably lead to tons of sexual harassment by asshole kids talking about anal sex. NTA. There are questionable names where I wonder what parents were thinking. And then there is this name. This would be rough as a kid. Thanks for standing up for your niece to be. They are operating out of good intentions, but this is going to really hurt this kid. Edit. Thinking about this more, this is absolutely going to end with her changing her name at 18. If they proceed, people are getting better about being culturally sensitive, but this definitely would still cause issues as an adult. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Have an amazing day.